Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a small robot named Robby. Robby was a shiny, silver machine with bright blue eyes that twinkled like stars. He was built to help humans with everyday tasks, but deep down inside, Robby felt something was missing. He often watched the humans around him laugh, cry, and hug each other, and he wondered what it would be like to feel emotions like they did. One sunny morning, Robby decided to go on a quest to find a heart. He believed that if he could find a heart, he too could experience the emotions that made humans so special. So, with a little backpack on his metallic shoulders and a map in his hand, Robby set off on his adventure. As Robby traveled through bustling cities and quiet villages, he met many different people and learned a lot about emotions. In a quaint little village, he met an old clockmaker named Mr. Tick. Mr. Tick was a kind man with a bushy white beard and gentle eyes. He spent his days fixing old clocks and had a heart full of stories. "Why do you want a heart, Robby?" Mr. Tick asked one evening as they shared a cup of tea. Well, Mr. Tick had tea, and Robby politely pretended to sip his. "I want to know what it feels like to be human," Robby replied. "I want to understand why people laugh and cry and why they care for each other." Mr. Tick smiled warmly. "Emotions are what make life beautiful, Robby. But a heart isn't something you can just find. It's something you grow inside of you." Puzzled but determined, Robby thanked Mr. Tick and continued on his journey. He walked through enchanted forests and over rolling hills, meeting all sorts of wonderful beings along the way. He befriended a mischievous fox named Felix, who taught him about joy and laughter. Felix would play tricks on Robby, making him giggle, or at least, the robotic equivalent of giggling. One rainy afternoon, Robby found himself in a small town where he met a little girl named Emily. Emily had the brightest smile but the saddest eyes. She missed her father, who was away on a long journey. Robby stayed with Emily, keeping her company and listening to her stories. He learned about sadness and empathy as he sat by her side. One night, as Emily hugged Robby tightly, he felt a strange sensation inside his chest. It was warm and comforting. He didn't understand it, but it made him feel closer to Emily. Robby's journey took him to a magnificent library where he met a wise librarian named Mrs. Sage. She was an old woman with spectacles perched on her nose and a kind heart. Mrs. Sage taught Robby about love and kindness through the stories in her books. "Robby," she said softly, "a heart isn't just about feeling emotions. It's about sharing those emotions with others. It's about caring and being cared for." As Robby continued to travel, he realized that he was beginning to understand emotions. He felt joy when he made new friends, sadness when he had to say goodbye, and warmth when someone showed him kindness. One day, Robby returned to the village where Mr. Tick lived. He shared all his experiences and the emotions he had felt. Mr. Tick listened with a proud smile. "You see, Robby," Mr. Tick said, "you didn't need to find a heart. You grew one. It's not made of metal or gears, but of the connections you've made and the love you've shared." Robby's blue eyes twinkled brighter than ever. He finally understood what it meant to be human. It wasn't just about having a heart, it was about the journey, the friendships, and the love he found along the way. And so, Robby the small robot, with his newly grown heart, continued to live among the humans, cherishing every laugh, tear, and hug. He had discovered the true meaning of being human, and it was more beautiful than he had ever imagined. And they all lived happily ever after.